What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Shop Talk Tuesday. So, if you're new to this video series, what this is all about is a commentary-based type thing where I pretty much talk the whole entire time about stuff that is relevant to the channel, plus to knife making and things like that. Now, what we end up doing is we talk about stuff where like questions that I get from the YouTube comment section or from emails or from my Facebook page. And if you're not part of the Facebook page, go check it out. It's TRE Workshop on Facebook. It's in the description below. You can click on the link and actually go straight to it. But I have different people ask me questions, and a lot of them seem to end up being close to the same questions. And it's funny because pretty often I get the same run of questions. So I'll have one person ask it and then two other people ask almost the same exact question. I find that pretty interesting that it ends up working that way. But I'll take this time to answer those questions and kind of, you know, be able to work with that a little bit. And then we'll go into what we have working in the background. And then of course we do a viewer's knife section, which is pretty awesome. I love doing the viewer's knife sections because it just gets people who probably wouldn't be, you know, out there with their knives. It kind of gets their creations out there so that people can see them. And I like being that avenue that they get to go direction wise for being able to break into the public eye with their stuff. So we're gonna start off with what kind of question I have. Now this one has been asked a bunch of times for a long time, and I get a lot of people, I'm going to hit on a couple of things, but I get a lot of people who ask me for like templates and stuff like that for the knives that I make, or measurements, specific measurements for things that I do. And to be real with y'all, I don't go a ton off of measurements. I'll measure a few things here and there just because, but I really trust my eye. I trust how even I can make things just by eye without having to try and find out the exact angle of things or degree of things, or, you know, break out a ton of math or anything like that. I do a lot of things by eye. So I'll have people who ask me what degree I did my bevels or my edge, or, you know, exact measurements from one thing to the next. I don't tend to do that. I don't tend to do a ton of measuring. For my measuring, I've got the cutting pad right here, that clear 6-inch ruler, and of course I've got all of this stuff right here, but a lot of that is more for woodwork and framing and stuff like that. I don't have, well, I didn't say I don't have, I've got a ton of ways to measure things. I've got all kinds of different things to measure things, but again, I really trust my eye a lot. I trust whenever I'm looking at bevels what makes it even, or what I'll have to do to even one up to the next. I will do some scribing here and there, but for the most part a lot of it is done by eye and by feel and what feels right and what looks right to me. And that is just over years of doing things by hand and looking to see what I need to change or all of that. I just trust myself because I've done that for a long time. You know, I talk about the fact that I did stonework for a while. You know, before we had big routers to do the edges and all that stuff, I had to do all of the edges with an angle grinder, with a diamond cut blade, and different pads and all that stuff. I had to do all of that by eye, and what felt right on my hand, what looked right by sight. And I did that for plenty of years, and I got to a point to where I just trust myself. Now, if you're gonna do 3 of the same exact thing, it is nice to have some measurements, but there is gonna be a point where you're gonna have to trust yourself to make decisions, and I trust that. I trust in my ability. Not that I am some amazing measuring phenomenon or something like that. I just trust what I'm doing whenever I'm doing it, and I don't really second guess myself. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that will second guess themselves to the point to where they won't even do something. They will stop themselves in their tracks because they second guess everything. You know, everything has to be precise, everything has to be exact, everything has to be perfect. And it doesn't always have to be perfect or 100% exact or precise. You know, if I was making scalpels for surgeons that have to be perfect, or if I was making, you know, machinery parts, that would be one thing, because, you know, everything goes down to the tiniest little measurement. But what I make is just nice, useful knives for people to go and use. So I don't get caught up on all of those degrees and, like I said, the mathematics behind trying to figure out all kinds of different things. I'll go off of what looks good and what feels right whenever I'm doing it. So a lot of people have asked, you know, again, for templates and things like that. The closest thing that I would get to doing a template is like one of my drawings, or one of these guys right here, one of those guys, taken and photocopying it maybe and sending it out, because I'm not going to go through and measure the distances between all of these things. I'm not going to get on some program and do that and figure out all of those measurements. It's not gonna happen. I've got those templates, and I tend to put those on paper and then I'll redraw them a little bit, but everything is by hand. You know, there's not a whole bunch of measuring things. And I've tried to do that. I've tried to use all kinds of different, they've got this like French curve like set that you can get to be able to do all kinds of different curves and shapes and everything. No, not going to use that. I just like drawing it freehand whenever I'm doing templates and things like that. And to be real with y'all, all the holes that I use whenever I'm going to, you know, draw the actual markings for the pinholes in the templates, I just use this little guy right here. Just a drill bit measure. So it's pretty simple. Let me see right here. Fractional drill gauge. I use this to do a lot of my circles. And then I use that 6-inch ruler that I have right there, the little clear one. That's pretty much my high-tech measuring devices that I use for all of that stuff. Everything else is purely freehand. I'll take one of these every once in a while if I want a particular handle shape. I'll use that handle and then I'll freehand the blade part of it. So that's what I do. That's one of the things that whenever people ask me for measurements on stuff, I'll sit there and go, crap, I don't want measurements. Alright, and I'll have to come out to the shop, take one of the knives, put it on the little cutting pad right here, figure out, okay, this is how long the blade is, this is how long the handle is, oh, this is how thick it is, this is how wide it is here, because I didn't do any of those measurements beforehand. But I figured I would talk about that because a lot of people have asked me for different things that involve me measuring things and doing that part, and I would be doing that after the fact. You know, it wouldn't be a pre-thing where I put all the measurements on paper and then I have that for the future. You know, that's why I make the templates, so that I know what they are. I can just take that off the wall and, you know, redraw it or do something like that. But yeah, I know that wasn't like a super helpful tip or anything like that, but that was more me answering people's questions. The tip aspect of it is, guys, don't be afraid to just do something. Don't be afraid to just try it out. Don't be afraid to, if you don't have tools to measure things, just put it on paper, put it on steel, cut the steel out, put it in your hand. You know, or take the piece of paper that you drew it on, put it on a piece of wood, cut that out like I do on these, put it in your hand, and when it feels right, it's right. It doesn't have to be some precise measured thing. Just do what feels comfortable in your mitts. Cool? There you go. Now, when it comes to the things that we have working in the background, of course we have this gorgeous knife over here that I can't show you because I'm going to be releasing that video here in like a couple of days. So the handle turned out phenomenal. It's right there. It looks beautiful. This is the one that has the mustard edge on it. Handle turned out good. So that's going to be released, should be Thursday, and then the sharpening and cutting through things should be Saturday, because right now what I'm trying to do is do at least 3 videos a week. It'd be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. We'll see how that goes. It might be a little bit, more compact than that, but thinking 3 videos a week is awesome. That's a lot of videos a month, and that's actually quite a bit of videos compared to what a lot of people put out. So there you go. But we've got that going. We've got sheaths that are being made for the 3 chunky Tonto knives. So I'm going to do all of those in one video to make it a lot easier on y'all. We're going to have that. We got the big chopper that's going to be coming up here soon. We got a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be happening. But that's what's working in the background. Now, when it comes to the viewer's knife, this knife is actually a really nice looking knife. And I'll hit on one thing going into that. So the person who sent me this picture, did point out a little thing with the fact that I do get a lot of emails, and I do get a lot of people who are emailing me. Some of it is for viewers' knives, some of it is for projects, some of it is just spam that I get for people who are trying to get me to throw one of their sponsored things in the videos. A lot of them are these random apps that I've never heard of. But he did mention the fact that he didn't know if he was going to be able to reach me because of how many emails I get. I read all of y'all's emails. Every single email that I get, even the spam ones, I read them all. I thank y'all for sending those in. And Gary, the person who actually sent me that email, I read it. And dude, awesome work that you were able to create with this knife. And you actually made something that I'm interested in making now when it comes to your sheath. But Gary, I'm going to end up throwing his name in whenever we do the cutaway for the knife and all that stuff. So you'll be able to see the whole entire name. And I am going to go ahead and leave his email in the description below. Doesn't exactly have a website or any of that, but he told me to go ahead and leave his email in the description. So I will be doing that. Now Gary, let's go ahead, cut away, and check out your knife. Now, okay, a little bit of info on this knife. It is made from 1095 steel. The overall length is 9 inches with a 4.5 inch blade and a 4.5 inch handle. The steel is 3/16 thick at the spine, and he did a full flat grind with a hamon. Looks absolutely awesome. He did go ahead and etch in his last name on the blade itself, and then he has African blackwood handles with orange G10 liners, stainless steel pins, and a mosaic pin filled with charcoal resin. Man, this is absolutely awesome. I really like this design, and I like the sheath with that integrated belt loop that he did. I'm going to try one of those. That is going to happen very soon. Well guys, what did y'all think about Gary's knife? I think it turned out awesome. I really like the profile of it. I like the hamon, and I really like the sheath. I am going to be making that particular belt loop that he did on that sheath very soon. Probably within the next week, because I want to try that out. I think it's going to be pretty awesome, and it's something I want to do. So Gary, thank you for the idea. And guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you send me pictures of your knives so that we could talk about them. For one, I like hearing y'all's stories, and I really like having everybody go down in the comment section and talk about the particular person's knife that was in the viewer's knife section for that video. And if y'all would, go ahead and do that. Make sure y'all go down in the comment section and tell Gary what y'all think about that knife. But I just love seeing the emails, and I like reading your stories, how you became knife makers, what you did leading up to this, things like that. But I would also like to see, on a few of them, I want to see what your first knife was to what you're doing now, so that I can actually show people that not everybody makes their very first knife and it is the most amazing knife in the world. A lot of times people just make knife-shaped objects and then they get the bug, and then they start making knives, and they just progress, you know, light years above that, you know. And I would like to see what your start was to where you are now. That'd be pretty cool to be able to talk about in the viewers knife section for a few videos. So if you think about it, the email is in the description below. Make sure you send that so that I can put them on here and let everybody check out what you do. Now, with that being said, I've got another thing that I want to talk about that I'm going to talk about in a few different videos. Guys, if y'all make things that y'all want me to use in the videos, like Corey Scott did, where he makes handle scales, and he sent me some to work with in the videos, make sure that you let me know. Y'all can send them to my P.O. box that's in the description below. And if you would, send me an email saying, hey, I'm thinking about sending you this thing, and I will go ahead and use those in the videos. And if you send me the email, make sure you send me the link to either your website, your Etsy page, your YouTube page, your Facebook page, any of the ways that you sell those products, and I will link them in the description below the video where I utilize that particular thing, and let everybody know where to go to. They're not going to be affiliate links. They're just purely going to be me trying to put your name out there. That's all it's going to be. So if you have anything that you want to send me for me to try out in the videos, let me know, and we can make something happen. So that'd be pretty cool. I call them like little mini collabs, like I did with Corey Scott, where we, of course, the knife that we did the mustard etch on, that's got his handle scales on it, plus these handle scales right here, and the 80 CRV2, the 1/4 inch thick stuff that we're going to be using for the chopper, that's from him as well. So as soon as he gets his Etsy page, or whatever page he's going to be using to sell his product, like scales and stuff like that, I'm going to be linking that in the description below. Again, it's not going to be an affiliate link. I don't plan on getting any kickback. I just want to be able to make everybody know what you do and what you sell. So it'd be pretty cool, just a way to help out fellow knife makers and just people who make things in general. I think it'd be pretty cool, and I won't, you know, expect anything from that. It's just purely me being able to help y'all out. But guys, that's pretty much the end of this one. If y'all would give this video a thumbs up, share this video or one of my other videos that I've done. Guys, bottom corner, hit that subscribe button so you get notified for when we actually put these on knives, plus when we make the chopper and we sharpen this knife that's right back here and go ahead and slice some stuff with it. Guys, that's the end of this one. Thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for spending your time with me. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there, and I'll catch y'all next time.